Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm going to be critiquing one of my Patreon members' paintings. Now, as always with critiques, art is subjective. My opinion is my opinion. It is not the only way. These are just the bits of advice that I would give to my own students if I was working with somebody in person. French Fry agrees. This submission comes from Crystal, who said, "This was my own reference photo with the addition of the hummingbird to the bird bath. Loose interpretation. I wanted it some brighter, but it just feels a little off." So this is her actual painting. This is the reference photo. Now, the main thing that I really want to talk about in this video is choosing the right reference photo and coming up with the right composition, because that is that solid foundation is going to make a big difference in what your actual artwork comes out like. So in this case, I can see we've got the little Google sparkle thing, whatever they call it, Google Gemini. So the hummingbird was added with AI. I don't mind if somebody uses AI to come up with inspiration, to get an idea of what something's going to look like, to change a background. What would it look like if I had a solid background on this photo I took? That sort of thing. I don't like using it as actual reference though, because AI invents crap. It's going to create just things that are slightly off. Now I will say this one looks pretty good, because I didn't even realize it was AI until I saw the little sparkle thing. So it's not a bad AI job. But I still would recommend if you're going to use AI to help you come up with inspiration or ideas, I would still go find a real photograph of a hummingbird. I would not ever copy what AI shows me, because like I said, AI makes crap up. It just invents stuff. So Unsplash and Pixabay are my two go-tos for royalty-free reference photos, and I would try to find something that was very similar. Maybe you're using the angle on this, but you're using the detail on the other photo, but I would still not use AI as my reference. So that's just, you got to watch it. I've seen a lot of people do AI we've had submissions on past critiques where like the duck's beak was not shaped right in the AI photo that the artist used. And the artist's work, they did a great job, but they copied what AI screwed up. I have seen it. There was one with a horse where the horse was not drawn right. I think one of his legs was in the wrong location. That's going to make it very hard for the artist, because now their artwork looks off. So even if you like AI and you are okay, you're comfortable with using AI for stuff like that, this is not something I would use it for. I would go and if you want to use it as inspiration, I would definitely go and find the real photo of a horse, the real photo of whatever, and use that for the reference. Use the AI as inspiration and for ideas, but get a real photo for what it is you're actually painting. That out of the way, let's take a look at this photo. So it's a cool photo with the butterfly. I see why you would want to use this. I would not include this thing. Now, you improved hugely by using, I love the way that you turned that second bird here, that you made that copper looking. That was definitely a good call. A better call would probably just to remove it entirely. We want to start with something, a solid, like a good composition before we even start painting. Right now, what's happening in this piece is that it is very chaotic and my eye's kind of bouncing all over the place. I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to look. The other thing that's happening is all of the lighting here, everything is very mid-range. We don't have any definite lights or definite darks. We've got highlights and shadows. I can see you're good at paint. I can see this flower here, by the way. Oh my gosh, that flower looks so good. Your darks and your lights, they are wonderful. You've got skill. I see you have skill. I want to see that used. What else was that? Please don't eat the microphone. Stop it. So how do we fix the composition to start with? I will usually start by taking the photo into Lightroom and adjusting my lighting, making my brights brighter, my darks darker. I'm always going to push that farther than whatever the original photo was. Stop eating the microphone. So taking it into Lightroom and just really hype up the contrast. I softened the background. I made the darks way darker. Your lights mean nothing if the darks aren't dark enough. Your lights can't be light enough if the darks aren't dark enough. And while I know you wanted to lighten yours up, everything's too light. Everything is just too mid-range. So it's not something that really draws the viewer in. So to start with, just adjusting those values can instantly make it more interesting looking. Now, the next problem that I have is that the butterfly is directly above the hummingbird. That is a very weird, even if we remove this guy, which I do think we should, if we remove him, let's move the butterfly in that place. This is a lot better. Is it the best composition? No, it's not. It's still not perfect, but it is a bit better than what we had. It gives us a lot more, and I zoomed way in. Let's focus a little bit more. Now, with this composition, we know what we're looking at. We're looking at the butterfly and we're looking at the hummingbird. Instead of here, where we were just bouncing all over. There's too much going on and it's all the same value. We're all mid-range. Here, because everything else in the background is darker, the flower and the butterfly, the hummingbird and the bull, these are the two things that are really standing out. Now our eye knows what we're supposed to land on, what we're supposed to look at. And even the leaves, they just stand out so much better. Now, my next tip is, let's say you spent 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours on this. I want you to spend 12 hours. I want you to start from scratch and spend a lot longer on the whole piece. Don't rush through it so quickly. The background here with these leaves is really, really messy. You probably spent longer on that than you need to. Darken that up, and then we pull out these few highlights. If we get these leaves, let's put these side by side. Look at the difference in just putting these side by side, how we really can notice, that the hummingbird and that butterfly stand out so much more by darkening up what's behind it. Otherwise, values, if you squint at this, everything's just kind of the same. I also would not include that many flowers. As pretty as they are, you did a great job on them. There's so many and they're going all different directions. It's too chaotic. The whole piece is just kind of all over the place. If we simplify this and focus on the values, it's going to be a much, much stronger painting. And I don't think it's going to take you 12 hours. I'm just saying, whatever you spent on it, spend 4 times longer. Just slow down and copy a lot of those leaves individually. And then talking about the values, let's look at the hummingbird. Look at how dark those shadows are. Let's get those. Your shadow looks great. Let's darken that up. We've got the darks all around the leaves. Really make those dark. That's going to make those leaves pop forward. It makes everything feel much more three-dimensional. Look how dark that shadow is under the flower now. Those are the things, it pushes the butterfly forward. It makes the flower stand out more. Everything stands out more. The water, look how dark the water in some of these ripples are. Now, it's AI generated ripples, so not super accurate, but the thing it did get right is that you've got high contrast between the dark and the white lines. We want to get that super high contrast. That's what makes it look shiny. And that's the trick to water or to anything looking shiny. High contrast. Your darkest dark right up against your lightest light. That is when it's going to make that look shiny. Which brings us over to the hummingbird. Hummingbirds have that metallic looking feather. And to create that, we've got to look how dark the darks are, right? It's so dark and then so light where the highlights are. You've got to push those darks and those lights further. That's going to give you a much more realistic look. And I can already see one of the things wrong with this is tail's too long. So that's the sort of thing with AI, it screws stuff up. Yours isn't. Yours is missing a tail. What happened to your tail? But in the photo, his tail looks too long to me. The AI just it invents crap. I like the way the water droplets are. That looks cool, but that would be the same thing. Super high contrast. You can't make those water droplets stand out like that if the dark next to it isn't dark enough. We've got to get those darks way darker in order to make the lights lighter. It's going to make a huge difference on this. Now, could you make these adjustments to your painting? Yeah, but I would rather you keep this one as it is and make those adjustments. So you've got two and you can just see how much improvement, how much more striking it would be if you make these adjustments on a new piece, because we're completely changing the composition anyway. So I think that would be way easier just to start from scratch. It's a really cool photo. I see why you wanted to paint this, but push those darks, get them darker. You can make something brighter, but you still have to have the darks. Making it brighter without having the darks, it doesn't work. You've got to have those darks so that those brights feel bright enough. But it's seriously great work. I cannot wait to see what this looks like if you do this one again, making these little adjustments. And I will see everyone tomorrow for the Lachri studio I found on Amazon Studio Finds. I cannot get that name right. I wrote it down and I just can't. I don't know. Fun art stuff I found good deals on Amazon for. That's tomorrow.